I'm going to be resuming my work on kind of getting a Discord experience going. Resuming my work on, let's see here, kind of getting a Discord experience going. Resuming. And, sorry, I was just pausing my video playback that I was seeing. Okay, so this is Discord, obviously. And this is kind of where we had left off the previous time. Basically, we had kind of constructed the basics of this structure. If I open my Discord scene, this is what we got so far. And so we've got our little icons here for what you would be seeing up in this little corner. And something's telling me that this stuff is actually too big, so we'll probably have to scale it later. But anyway, yeah, if I just run this, yeah, it's relatively large. But anyway, we now have to actually start displaying the data of the different servers that people have and all the functionality therein. And it looks like we just have these kind of buttons that are generated from our data. And they each have an icon and a name that shows up in a pop-up. So we are going to be setting that up. And note that these are all tool scripts, so I can actually update data from within the editor, and things will modify themselves. So click on the server list, for example. I have like a friend request count, and if we did it right, oh, looks like we didn't do it right. Something's wrong. Well, at the end of the process last time, it was actually doing that. Load nodes. Can't find the server. Oh, direct messages button. That might be why. Yes, that's why. That'll do it. Direct messages, because I renamed it. Button. Okay, let's try that one more time. Okay, there we go. And looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and our little number is updating up here as well. So that's inside of the editor. We're not doing anything to that. So presumably you could create like an editor plugin and then just literally stick this entire node, this scene, into the editor, and it would work. So that's cool. What we're going to do, though, is start trying to build that data. So to do that, I had a server list JSON. It's not showing up here. Let's jump to our stuff. Discord. JSON. Here we go. And servers. Here we go. Servers.json. So this is just kind of an example file. And let's say that the icon, we're just going to do the typical kind of Godot engine stuff here. Okay, so Godot engine is what it's called. Let's create. Going to do Godot engine, and the icon for this is going to be res icon.png, and let's see, yeah, that's right there. Okay, so now we need to procedurally generate our server button. And we have a dedicated scene for our server button, which is just a tool button with, actually we're just really just using it as it is, it's just named. But if we wanted to change any functionality about that later, like adding a shader mask or creating the little notification, button, not notification button, but the little circle or line, we can actually generate this content from our server button scene. So we've kind of we've segregated that out. So now we're going to actually get the server JSON. So we're going to convert our data into a dictionary and actually use that. Okay, so first we create a file. Then we need to open that file, and the server JSON. So you're gonna actually fetch it from an export in this case. See, this will do for now, so to speak, but we actually, ultimately, we'll want this to be some predefined thing. I'll probably have to go back through and change these paths if you actually do turn it into an editor plugin, because the, for example, the files are actually gonna be located at like res, add-ons, Discord, and then you'd have, your directories where you would be storing this information, and you won't be able to define it within the editor when you're actually, putting it in, or rather the editor plugin might have to define it before it adds it to the tree. So those are things to consider. We might end up having to come back and update this value, but either way, we have our, let's say, our server JSON path, because that's what it is. And we're going to open whatever is at this path. Let's see here. Adjusting the mic so I'm not breathing into it. And then we want to check and see if it is, or actually if it's not okay. And if it's not, then we just return, should we return null? Yes, I think that's best. So we return null, and then we actually get our JSON, because f is now going to be our actual file. We can get at, well, actually we need to see what the documentation is here. How do we get the string? Where is it? Get as text, that's what we want. So get as text. So we now have the string content of the file, and that's what we want to parse and convert into a dictionary. So now if I print JSON, that's what we wanted, and then we actually want to call this function. Let's just do it here. Let's just call get server JSON. So we're not going to do anything with it at the moment. We just want to print it and see what happens. Does our output do anything? No. Okay. Expected two. Oh, yes, does expect 2 arguments. That would be correct. We should tell it in what way we are attempting to open it. We're going to do file.read. We want to read the file. Loading nodes. Set friend request count is where we did it. Okay, so if we go in here, must reload. And if I try to change this, nope, it didn't work. Okay. Why did that not work? Serverless script. I figured that would do it. Oh, well. No, yeah, it should be getting to that, I would think. Well, it's calling the loading nodes bit, so we'll just put that there. Get server JSON. Oh, and then we might want to report an error if this fails to load. That might be the reason it's not doing anything else. Print failed to find a server JSON, or JSON for server data. Okay. Try that again. Still nothing. Turning null. Well, even, I mean, it would still print out null if it was getting null, right? It should be. Let's try test. Does it print test? No, we're not getting that. Okay. That is not what I was expecting. Loading nodes. So we're getting this. Get server JSON. Print inside. Inside. Okay, so we're getting inside of here. And if it is okay, no, we wanted this. And then we would print if that happens, and we return null. Else, if we did find it, we just say print found server JSON data. Okay, try that again. Failed to find, there we go, failed to find JSON for server data. Okay, oh, and because we haven't actually initialized it. Okay, that makes sense. Things make sense now. Okay, so file, servers, JSON, open. Okay, so now we have our path. And if I save this, we're still not finding it. Well, you know, it's failed to find JSON for server data. F.open, if it's not equal to okay, then you fail to find it. Yeah, that sounds right. Do I need to... set friend request count? Oh, wait, I took it out, so it's not calling it now. Get server JSON. Alright, try this one more time. Failed to load. Oh, JSON parse result. Okay. Oh, so apparently it's not giving me back what I thought I was getting. Okay, JSON, what do you give me? JSON parse result. String error result. Okay. Contains decoded JSON or error information. You can check if JSON source was successfully parsed with... Ah, okay. Gotcha. So I misunderstood that. Alrighty. Alright, so then what we want to do is get server JSON. It's going to, we'll call this JP, and then if jp.error is equal to okay, then we want var JSON equal to jp dot, what was it? Result. And then we can print it. That's the get server JSON. There we go. Servers, icon path, res, name, Godot engine. Alright, so we have our data. Cool. What is this error? We're still not. Yeah, we shouldn't be experiencing that now. Okay, cool. So it keeps on saying failed to find JSON for server data. So why don't we just don't do anything if this path is empty? That's what we should be doing here. Oh, well, I mean, technically that is what we're doing. We should only be doing any of this stuff if we actually found it. That's really what should be happening. Okay, so there we go. Now we're only getting this because we are printing that, so it's not like some sort of Godot error. So I think I can safely remove these things now. And since we return null in that case, we don't even need to do any of that. We can just... There we go. So logic fixing. Okay. And then loading nodes, that's fine for now. Clear this and save. Okay. Oh, is this not saved? Okay, yeah, now it's saved. There we go. Okay, so it's finding the data. Great. So I no longer need to print this. And then we want to return JSON. Yes, ultimately I can just return this. I don't even need to. Okay. Load nodes. nodes. Our setter no longer needs to get it since we're not really doing anything with that. And now what we want to do is start setting it up so we can take the data that's in there and procedurally generate our values. And let's see, how do we want to do this? What we need to do is set it up so that this just always shows this information, and it resets or like renders this content whenever you are finished clicking this button, and it updates the data. So first we have to make sure that it displays the information that it sees. We could do that on ready, but we also need to make sure that it would do it right now for us in the editor, so we can test it. If I just put it into ready, then it won't trigger because I'm not freshly adding the node to the tree. At least not within the editor, because the node already exists and I'm just modifying the script on it. So okay, let's see here. I'm trying to think of what the best entry point is to be able to start adding these server buttons. So what's happening here is around here, this point, HP. So yeah, HP sep server start. So we need to start adding new nodes after this node that are server buttons. Where do we want to do that? So yes, we want to do it after we click the button, but to just do it statically, you wouldn't do it on init. I don't think. Is init? I don't think init would get called. Print init. Around that? Oh, it does call init. That's weird. I did not expect that. Oh, well that actually makes sense, because it's reloading the script, so it reinitializes the variables and then merges in the runtime data. I think that's what I would guess is happening. So init does get called when you save the script. Okay, which means, and this is what we would want, is for it to go ahead and get the server JSON. So, oh, looks like my time's over. I'll have to stop this. I'll be back later.